Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a collection of sources that, honestly, they really challenge our usual ideas about what greatness even means. Forget the status, the power, the big achievements we normally think of. We're looking at some ancient texts that point towards worth being found, well, somewhere else entirely. So the big question we're asking is, what really defines greatness? And how do we measure value, not just in ourselves, but in others too? We've got excerpts from the Bible, Psalms, Matthew, Deuteronomy, and also some really thoughtful reflections and prayers.
Right. What's so fascinating, I think, is how these old texts offer this perspective that feels incredibly countercultural today. Our main goal here, our mission for this deep dive, is to explore how they talk about power and status. It's all about, humility, love, divine care for the vulnerable, and strong, steadfast leadership. It's like they're turning our whole value system upside down. A kind of sacred subversion, you could almost call it.
That's a great way to put it, sacred subversion. Because one of the key moments we're looking at is in Matthew 18, you have the disciples coming to Jesus, basically asking, okay, who's top dog? Who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?
Yeah, you can almost picture them, can't you? Sort of jostling for position.
Exactly. And Jesus's response, it's not a lecture. It's not some complicated theory. He just calls over a child. A little child, puts him right in the middle of everyone.
Such a powerful image. Unexpected.
Totally unexpected. And it just sets the stage for this whole conversation, this core theme. We'll definitely unpack that. And we'll also look at things like Psalm 34.18, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. And then back in Matthew 18, that amazing parable, the lost sheep. The idea of this huge joy over just one person returning, it changes the definition of valuable, doesn't it?
It really does. And it connects surprisingly well to leadership, too, like what we see with Moses in Deuteronomy 31. This isn't just Moses retiring. Think about it. He's 120 years old. He's led them for decades. He knows he won't be the one to lead them into the promised land, across the Jordan.
Yeah, that must have been incredibly difficult.
Absolutely. Yeah. So he transfers leadership to Joshua. But it's more than just a handover. It's this huge moment of trust for Joshua, for everyone relying not on Moses anymore, but on God's promise to be with them. It provides this historical anchor for these ideas of care and steadfastness we see elsewhere. So when we start pulling these threads together, these core ideas, it's pretty clear. Greatness in these texts isn't about what the world usually values, not power, not status. It's about humility.
Yeah.
About having a trust like a child's. That's what Jesus says in Matthew 18, right? Whoever becomes humble like this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
It hits hard, doesn't it? It's not just a nice saying.
Not at all. It fundamentally challenges how we look at influence, how we measure worth. It forces us to ask, are we actually looking for greatness in those places? In humility.
And that idea, that shift in perspective, it ties directly into this really strong theme of God's care for every single person, especially, as the texts say, the least and most vulnerable. That parable of the lost sheep you mentioned from Matthew 18, it's just so powerful.
It really is.
I mean, think about it practically. A shepherd has 100 sheep, one goes missing. Today, you probably focus on the 99, right? Cut your losses, maybe.
Exactly. Risk management.
But the parable flips that. The shepherd leaves the 99, goes after the one.
Yeah.
And the joy when he finds it, it's greater than the relief over the ones who were never lost. It's this startling picture of how personal and maybe even infinite that divine love is. It hammers home that message. It is not the will of your heavenly Father that one of these little ones be lost.
And that intense focus on the individual, especially the one who seems lost or small, it echoes that leadership theme in Deuteronomy. Moses' farewell speech, it isn't just saying goodbye, he's passing on this huge responsibility, but he pairs it with this absolute promise. He tells Joshua, tells all of Israel, it is the Lord your God who marches with you. He will never fail you or forsake you.
That's the foundation.
That's the only foundation. It's why he can then say, be brave and steadfast. Their courage isn't supposed to come from themselves, but from knowing God is present, unwavering. That's a really crucial distinction for anyone thinking about what leadership actually means.
Yeah, absolutely. And it connects so well with that line from the reflection, a gentle heart. It reminds us, God rejoices over every lost soul that returns to him. And it makes it clear. In his eyes, no one is insignificant or beyond his loving care. It's not just a passive acceptance. It's an active seeking out of the one, a relentless love, which feels, this sort of powerful contrast to how the world often measures people.
Which really brings it back to us, doesn't it? Back to you listening. What are the implications of all this for how we actually live? If real greatness is found in humility, in childlike trust, and if Every single person, especially the struggling or the lost one, has immense value. How does taking that seriously, like Matthew 11 suggests, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart? How does that change things day to day?
Yeah, how does it reshape how you interact with people, how you see others?
Exactly. In your family, at work, in your community, what does it look like practically?
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to maybe mull over. Considering the incredible value these texts place on the least and most vulnerable, and this overwhelming joy we read about over finding those who are lost, what if we really leaned into that? What if we approached others, even the people we find difficult, the ones who seem stray, the ones who don't fit our molds, with genuine humility and gentleness? How might that kind of approach fundamentally shift our relationships, maybe even our leadership? Could it mirror something of that deep, unchanging love we've been exploring? Something to think about.